Welcome to the Sports Machine with Brian and Dean. Thursday, November 12th. NFL buy or sell, NBA buy or sell, plus DeAndre Jordan coming to Dallas. Marcus Aldridge going back to Portland. And somehow Greg Hardy has come back up in the news again. We're going to have to give our thoughts on that. And of course, somebody's going to get really though.
It just wouldn't be a good day if we didn't really know somebody. So you know it's coming.
Let's get started with the Thursday night matchup.
Yes.
Bills, Jets, interstate rivals. Ryan Fitzpatrick leading the charge for the Jets.
He's laughing at me because, I've had some words, not so nice words, about Ryan Fitzpatrick. Mainly because of the nickname. I've seen grown men call him Fitzy. Ryan Fitzy.
That's not Ryan Fitzpatrick's fault.
Yeah. I came out on Twitter. Twitter seems to be a athlete's best friend right now. Come out there, and if another man calls me Fitzy, calling him out. But then again, nowadays, everybody wants that 15 minutes of fame, so everybody and mama be calling him Fitzy. Heck, they'll have 5-year-old boys on Twitter. Hey, Fitzy, throw a better touchdown pass to such and such and such.
The Jets and the Bills, this is actually kind of a big game to see who could get that wild card spot.
It really is. Once again, with Buffalo, you just don't know what they're going to get. I believe Percy Harvin is on season-ending injury reserve. The last I checked, I believe it was a knee injury. Make sure I check more off into it, but as of right now, they did lose another weapon. Once again, Shady McCoy's kind of iffy for this game as well with the shoulder injury, which is to be expected when you have Ndamukong Suh fall on top of you. When Ndamukong Suh falls on top of you, I can understand why you may miss a game. Ndamukong Suh is a big man. They don't call him King Kong for nothing.
Ryan Fitzpatrick or Tyrod Taylor? Just throw it out there.
When you look at the numbers, I have to go with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I agree, but I think you kind of look at it. Sammy Watkins hasn't been there all season for the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
So Ryan Fitzpatrick's had a more consistent core to throw to, with a.k.a. just Brandon Marshall.
But Fitzpatrick has, 154 completions on over 249 attempts, 1,790 yards, 13 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, as well as Tyrod Taylor coming in with 107 completions on 149 attempts, 1,278 yards, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So I guess when you think about it, you could really argue, you could say either one of them, but I just like Ryan Fitzpatrick better as a passer than I do with Tyrod Taylor. But Tyrod Taylor brings that dynamic running game to your offense that can give a defense the kind of headaches that a lot of defense don't like to have when they're playing a running quarterback. Because at any point in time, this guy can pull it down and get a first down or get those extra extended plays, I guess you could say, to get the big play down the field. Which once again it's a headache for any defensive coordinator.
I look at this game. I think this game mainly comes down to defense.
Right.
Which defense is going to give up the points to the other mediocre offense?
But see, the thing is, coming into this season, we all believed that the Bills' defense was actually their bright spot, but it hasn't really been their bright spot this year.
It's not.
And once again, that's supposed to be like a Rex Ryan thing. Like, he came in being a defensive guy. It's kind of like he left one situation for another situation. When you think about, he didn't have like the offense necessary to kind of get that team in the right position that they needed when he was in New York last year. Even though they had the top defense in the league, the problem was the fact that there was just too much quarterback controversy going on there between turnovers with Geno and a plethora of other quarterbacks that they had in and out of the games last year. Fitzpatrick has actually brought them a little more consistency, but he's also had some injuries himself that he's been battling through this whole season.
Speaking of Geno Smith,
Right.
just thought I should bring this up because it's the best topic about this game. What do you think of Rex Ryan making IK, the guy that broke Geno Smith's jaw in the locker room confrontation in August, making him a captain?
You know my word. It's just Rex Ryan being what? Cheeky. Rex Ryan being cheeky. That's all it is. It's a shot. It's a deliberate shot. It's his first game back in New York. And let's be for real, New York gave him a lot of leeway when he was there. With with the antics, with everything he would say, everything he would do, his guarantees, things like that. Just being a Ryan. Because his father used to do the same thing. His brother does the same thing. I mean, he's just being a Ryan. So
Doesn't give him an excuse to do stuff.
Well,
your father did it, so it's okay.
Right. No. I'm not giving him an excuse, but I'm saying he's a Ryan, so it's to be expected. If you get this guy as a head coach of your team, you have to expect some bulletin board material.
I expect some wins. He
Yeah,
doesn't
most
always
definitely.
bring that.
Most definitely. And also, Rex Ryan has been getting a lot of grief from some of his players on the defensive side about how he's using them. Hasn't been exactly the best start for Rex Ryan in Buffalo. Mario Williams, it's a pass rusher. He wants to rush the passer, not go fall back into pass coverage. And I can understand that. That's your bread and butter as a pass rusher. So let that man rush the passer. And this was just a couple of weeks ago, B.
I don't know about that. Like, just let him do what he wants to. On some Ndakama Suh stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying let him do what he want to do. I'm saying, but let him do what he do, which is pass rush.
Rex Ryan's been a very good defensive coordinator, defensive mind in the league for years. And now you're telling me Mario Williams could just tell him that, no, I don't want to do that. I want to rush the passer.
It wasn't just him. There was a couple
zone.
of players. He was just the main one that came out.
Man, they need to remember that they're on the Bills. That's what they need to remember. The fact they're used to losing.
Yeah.
Someone's trying to teach you how to win, but you don't want to do it. What they say about the Clippers? Rather look good in a loss than look bad in a win.
That's how it start.
That's what it looked like to me. So who do you see winning the game?
I have Buffalo winning in an upset.
I have the Jets. The Jets have more consistency. I feel like I know what I can kind of expect out of their defense.
Mm-hmm.
And if Ryan Fitzpatrick plays, I know what to expect out of the offense.
There's been rumors that Darrelle Revis doesn't look the same. Is he getting old? Excuse me.
Yeah, he's getting old. But he's still one of the...
Still one of the top?
Yeah, he's probably top 5.
Right.
If not top
Okay.
2, 1.
A lot of talk came out of New York after the Raiders game, after what Amari Cooper done to him.
He also got done in by Randy Moss at one point in his career. That's when Darrelle Revis was in his prime. It just happens. Sometimes you go against a receiver and you miss it.
Right.
I mean, happens to Richard Sherman sometimes. Happens to every corner.
Right.
Let's
Let's
not
not
Joe
forget
Hayden.
Geno Smith was in the game. So the defense was on the field quite a bit. Not to give him an excuse, but once again, we've always said on the show. I've always said if your defense is out there on the field all game long, it doesn't always bode well.
So don't attach me to that. You said
I
right.
said that. I, Dwaylen Dean, says if your defense is out there on the field all day, it will not be a good game for your defense. Period.
I agree with that part. But when he said this, it was not in the best of context.
No, I said it.
Coming up, going through NFL teams, buy or sell, right here on the Sports Machine. Sports Machine. This is Brian Franklin with the Daily Sports Machine sports ticker. In the NBA, it appears Kevin Durant will miss at least 7 to 10 days with a left hamstring strain. He suffered the injury late in the second quarter on Tuesday, in which the Thunder beat the Wizards 125-101. In daily fantasy sports, FanDuel and DraftKings are both showing signs that they intend on fighting the New York Attorney General's decision that both sites are illegal. For the NBA scores last night, the Knicks lost a very close game to the Hornets 95-93. The Magic won off a buzzer beater against the Lakers 101-99. Philadelphia still not won a game after losing to the Raptors 119-103. The Paul George-led Pacers came away with a win against the Celtics 102-91. The Hawks got the win over the Anthony Davis-less Pelicans 106-98. The Nets got their first win of the season. The win came against the Rockets 106-98. The Warriors stay undefeated, beating the Grizzlies 100-84. The Nuggets came through in the end to beat the Bucks 103-102. The Pistons lost to the Kings 101-92. The Spurs beat the Trailblazers 113-101, and the Mavericks got a 10-point win over the Clippers 118-108. On the Sports Machine, Brian and Dean just went over the Bills and the Jets. IK coming out as the captain, broke Geno Smith's jaw.
That's what happens when you owe a guy almost $900.
I'm just glad Greg Williams wasn't the defensive coordinator.
You already know.
Time to get NFL buy or sell. Go through a list of NFL teams, say where we're buying or selling their stock. There's a few obvious ones. The Patriots, obvious buy.
Right.
So we're going to just jump straight into questionable teams. Pittsburgh Steelers.
I sell on the Pittsburgh Steelers. You don't have Le'Veon Bell for the season, and it's still iffy whether or not Ben Roethlisberger will play this Sunday or when he will be healthy enough to play. Let's not forget he's coming off a knee injury as well in his first week back. Sell. Stock down.
Indianapolis Colts.
Stock down. I'm selling. I've sold on them this whole season and will continue to sell on them.
I don't know. I think with Matt Hasselbeck coming in there to play.
Only thing, it's like you said before. Only difference is they'll be able to run the ball a lot more. But other than that, sell. I like Frank Gore, but no thank you.
I won't throw the Denver Broncos in there, even though they're 7-1.
I'll buy the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
I will.
I was hoping for a sell.
No. I know the defense that gave itself his own nickname got passed on, but it happens. And the defense has been a strong point the whole season. So it gets a free pass. I will buy.
All right, I've agreed with you so far. Just talked about the Thursday night game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the New York Jets, 5-3, fighting for that wild card spot.
I'll buy the New York Jets.
The Bills.
Man, I have to buy him because I just picked him to win. Like I picked him to win. Like
I was kind of trying to trick you into.
You were. You were slick or something other, but you slick as fish grease. What that boy saying, not a while, you ain't said nothing slick to a can of oil. You slicker than a can of oil over there, but I'm good. We good.
I'm selling on the Buffalo Bills.
You selling on the Bills?
Yeah.
I can understand why. Once again, it's just too inconsistent with the offense. Lose a key guy.
Shady's been injured all season. It seems like he keeps getting re-injured.
Yeah, exactly. This is a guy who's so dynamic. You could play him in the backfield, play him in receiver. Just a real athlete. And you just don't know what you... Once again, let's not forget about the headache he was in, what was that, Minnesota? Yes.
For the people that didn't get the reference there, I'm just going to let it pass. Oakland Raiders, 4-4.
I'm buying the Oakland Raiders. I know you're not big on their defense, but their young offense.
It's impossible to be big on their defense.
I understand that, but right now I'm buying the Oakland Raiders because I like what I see. In the words of the NCAA playoff committee, they passed the eye test.
Oh. We're gonna start talking about strength of schedule here in a second.
They passed the eye test. That's
Yeah.
the word of the week. Words of the week, eye test.
Kansas City Chiefs. They're 3-5, and they're right behind Oakland.
No,
so.
thank you. Sale. You got a quarterback who's gun shy, won't throw the ball down the field. You got receivers. Even though you got Jeremy Maclin, you're still not getting any touchdowns from your receivers. And the young running back they have it's okay. He's no, Jamal Charles, but he's getting the job done. But I still sell.
All right. I think the only other team in the AFC I see is potential because you're selling on the Colts. They're 4-5. The Houston Texans are 3-5. Buy or sell.
Sell.
Somebody's got to win the division, though.
I know, but I still. Shoot, Jacksonville still has a shot at the
Yeah, they're
moment,
2-6.
but I'm not
They're right
buying them. I'm not buying them, but if you're going to lay it like that, I guess I have no choice but to buy them only because, like you said, they're still in the mix. This team doesn't look. This team looks horrible, and they still they're still in the mix.
One of these teams is going to host a playoff game.
Seriously, the Colts or the Texans will host a playoff game.
I'll take the Texans over the Colts. I don't even know why. I really don't.
The Texans has something to do with Andrew Luck.
It has everything to do with Andrew Luck.
I understand.
I like Brian Hoyer too. I feel like he never gets a fair chance.
Exactly. Like he's above 500. I would take him right now more than Brandon Wheaton. I've said that once before. Hoyer the destroyer. I'll take him.
Moving to the NFC side, I'm gonna put the Carolina Panthers on the buy or sell list, but instead of just buy or sell, you buying the fact that they could potentially go undefeated. Don Shula came out and said,
right, he would think it was cool, which
I think it would be cool, but do you think it's actually possible?
Anything's possible, but no. Because we got tickets to go to the game on Thanksgiving Day, and I like to think that Tony Romo is back and playing. Yes, get the button ready. I believe my Dallas Cowboys, them boys, can beat Carolina Panthers on Thursday night, Thanksgiving, in Dallas, Texas.
Say it again. Say something else. Oh! Say something else. Say something else.
I'm just, once again, I believe that Tony Romo can come back and play. I believe my Cowboys shouldn't fear anybody. Period.
I don't understand.
It's okay. It's a lot of stuff she don't understand. We come to that conclusion already. Excuse me.
I'm selling the fact the Panthers can go undefeated, but it's not because of the great Dallas Cowboys in there.
Five time.
Only like one time since I've been born.
Yeah, true. I can't even shoot that one down.
No, it was like one. The Green Bay Packers.
They've been on a 2-game losing streak. Yet I still buy them because Aaron Rodgers, he's game. Like Aaron Rodgers' game. It's whether or not this defense is game. It's whether or not this offense is game when it comes to protecting him. Aaron Rodgers is game.
I agree. I'll buy him because of Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Arizona Cardinals.
I'll buy the Cardinals.
I will as well. I think it's partly because of the division they're in.
Right.
I don't see.
They have a big game,
This game will
division
be
game.
the decider. We'll probably pick that game tomorrow. Who we think will win? New York Giants.
They're getting Victor Cruz back. Yet I'm still going to sell because they're 32nd in the league in defense. I will sell on this team.
Someone's going to win the division. So the Eagles?
Nope. I never root for anything coming out of Philly.
Right now. So the Redskins are winning the division.
The Cowboys is winning the division, sir. I don't care.
Say something else.
I don't care.
Say something else. Say something else.
I don't understand.
I'm going full blown Cowboy fan. I'm about to Tony Romo comes back, I'm screaming to the bowl, y'all. To the bowl. Like we used to back in the 90s. I miss those days. My granny used to take me out of school. Go to the Cowboys parades. God. Those were the days.
I don't think I have a right drop.
Cowboys is still one game out, man. Still one game out in the division.
Right. We're not talking about the NFC East. Okay.
Okay.
The Vikings.
I will buy the Minnesota Vikings. Period. Like, I don't know what Mike Zimmer got them boys drinking in that. What he done dropped in that water in Minnesota, but they playing. And they for real. They're for real. For real.
I also believe that the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm selling on them right now. I'm selling on them because you don't know what you get. They're Jekyll and Hyde. Jekyll and Hyde.
So they pretty much force you to sell on them because of how inconsistent they can be at times.
Right. And their defense needs a lead in order to win. They need if they're down, their defense will continue to get drove down. And the offense, like you said, for Matt Ryan, supposed to be Matty Ice. Well, right now they playing like they trying to save Matt Ryan. Saving Matt Ryan.
St. Louis Rams.
Sell.
I'm buying the St. Louis Rams. I think they might sneak in.
Yeah, well.
I think if the Atlanta Falcons fall off, the Rams might be able to sneak in. Because it's not like they just got blown out by the Vikings.
No, you're right. You're right. It's not like they did get
The
blown
eye
out.
test.
No, well, once again, that's another team where you just don't know what you're going to get from their defense. So at times, this defense look like they could be, world beaters. That front four, they have a solid one of the best front fours in the NFL. But once again, and I like the fact they do got them a run game now, but I still don't trust them. Just something about them.
The NFC wild card is interesting because you also have the Seahawks, who look like the Seahawks and what they do. Struggle
Right.
for the first part of the season and then magically get it together.
Right.
Pete Carroll magic. Do you buy or sell the Seahawks?
Selling on the Seahawks. The Legion Boom has to show me more.
I can see the reason why.
You have to show me more. What was you just told me an alarming stat earlier before the show about Russell Wilson.
I think he's on. Trying to remember. It's like 60-something sacks. He's on pace for 60-something sacks.
So what I'm getting at is, if he's going to be sacked, hypothetically sacked over 60-something times, that means he may not be the most healthiest quarterback then. And if Russell Wilson goes down, so does this team chances of winning anything or getting back to the playoffs or anything for that matter on offense. Unless you got putting all your faith in Travaris Jackson. I know you was a Travaris
I'm actually
Jackson
a
guy,
Travaris Jackson fan.
but not Travaris Jackson over Russell Wilson. I almost said Westbrook. Excuse me.
I might take Russell Westbrook over that. And speaking of Russell Westbrook, we are now moving to the NBA. NBA last night. The boy DeAndre Jordan
Way to go, Mavs. That's what I'm talking about.
came to Dallas not to sign. He did not come back to sign. Changed his mind again.
All right.
He came back to play the Mavericks.
It's not like he pinky promised.
Words from Mark Cuban.
Got a little more Cuban. He always give you some. Most people may not like him, but being in the media, we love him because he gives us stuff to talk about. That's what we need. I mean, it came a point in time this week I was ready to really know him. But
It's going to happen eventually. Mark Cuban's going to get it.
I got love for Mark Cuban, man. So I had put the pistols away. I didn't come out guns a-blazing.
I don't think Mark Cuban had the best line, though. Chandler Parsons came out, and he dropped it. Mm-hmm. He said, DeAndre Jordan's not a priority to us. And it looks like he's not a priority in LA either.
And then that's where you hear the song, Jay-Z. Ether. You know what? I like the sign that we saw earlier that you had brought up, and I went to check it out. What was that? DeAndre Jordan's what?
Word is just as bad as his free throw percentage.
Yeah. That's one of those signs where you look at Doom like, yeah, great job. You show him, you give him plenty of TV time. Every time DeAndre Jordan got to the free throw line, made a miss, you show him. Like, you show that guy, like, you give him that TV time for that one. Yes. I had to work. I wish we'd have been able to catch that game, like, be at the game.
I heard he got booed a lot.
Should have. Never trust a man from Houston like the dude who blowed him up on Facebook. Never trust a man from Houston. And it's funny because when you watch the replay of how when they called his name out in intro, he was pumped like, yeah. It's like, dude, you can't yell and be mad because everybody booing you. Like, when you do what you did, everybody's like, well, all he did was change his mind. No, he verbally agreed. Like, he was, oh, man, I'm so glad. I mean, Dirk came off vacation with his beautiful wife and family. You know, Chandler Parsons, I mean, was racking up all kinds of frequent flyer miles, you know what I'm saying, taking this guy to dinner, the whole nine. You know, and then didn't have nerve enough to, like, call anybody back. Didn't he? Was send a text, like, ain't that what that's why I was about to, really though, Mark Cuban, was because he was like, I kept the text that he sent me. It's like, yo, he text messaged you, but then I was like, that sound like some stalker stuff, Mark.
So you gotta stay off that.
Real talk right now, man. Like, you gotta stay out there. I'm gonna keep the text message, you know, like that scoring lover deal was like, you know, like when you was the one and done, and that's the rated G version of it. You know, if you don't understand, yeah, you know, that's how Mark Cuban was kind of acting. So I was ready to really go for it, but like I found something better.
So, you know, Mark Cuban, he was just a biscuit.
That's how I started. Oh man, 10 points.
Another player returned to a team, but he was actually signed to this team, LaMarcus Aldridge. And the Spurs played the Trailblazers. The Spurs won 113-101, but LaMarcus Aldridge actually got cheered. I mean, he wasn't just all cheers, but it was positive.
Right, it was more positive than DeAndre Jordan.
LaMarcus Aldridge really didn't screw Portland over. You kind of knew he was leaving. He gave all the signs like, I'm about to leave. Like,
right. I mean, he gave the best. He took the best option that was for him when it comes to winning the championship. And I mean, can anybody blame him for going to the San Antonio Spurs to try to win a title?
No.
Exactly. So it's like if you're Portland, it's like, yo, I done went to San Antonio too. It's not like he went to New York. It's not like he went to the Lakers. It's not even like he went to Cleveland, which would nobody even try to blame him if he went to Cleveland. But he went straight to San Antonio, a team that would build around what he can do with a great coach. One of the few actual all-stars that's not afraid to actually go get coached by Greg Pop. Because anybody who know Pop, you're a Spurs fan. He don't care who you are. You could be Michael Jordan in his prime, and he'll give it to you if you do the wrong play. He'll grill you out, give you the stare down. I think that's why a lot of people may not want to see him coach the Olympic team when your boy Coach K gets finished, because he'll get at you. He's not afraid.
I think they should like that though.
Me too.
Especially with the basketball mind, he's proven it works.
Right.
It's obvious it works. But it does take a right player to mentally withstand the fact that, hey, I just put up 30 points and you're still yelling at me.
Right.
I don't understand what's going on.
That's Danny Green. Danny Green.
Well, Danny Green does some questionable actions sometimes.
But he gave him the blues, though.
All I know is when he takes last-second shots and Kawhi Leonard's over there, just like, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it.
Kawhi Leonard's that dude, man.
He is. One of my faves in the NBA right now. Another news is the Philadelphia Tanks lost again.
Great job, Philly. Y'all already know you've heard my take on anything Philly. Unless it was AI on their team.
Jahlil Okafor gets to take as many shots as he wants.
Great job, Philly.
The Nets finally got their first win. Shout out to Lionel Hollins. Is Hollins going to get fired before the end of the season?
ain't his fault that they had a fire sale and started getting rid of people.
They still have Joe Johnson. I like Joe Johnson. I'm a fan of Joe Johnson, but he is really fade.
You can think of Lionel Hollins like in that epic Eminem line where he says, They're threatening to take away my right to bear arms. What am I supposed to do? Fight with bare palms? Like, what is he supposed to coach with? High school kids?
Of course, unlike Mr. Ace Hanlon, I really can fight with both hands.
True story, Harry. Go ahead. Let him know. Gotta love that movie, man. The Quick and the Dead.
The Warriors won against the Grizzlies. They did not win by 50 this time. But Stephen Curry hit this running three-point shot off the backboard. The luckiest shot I've seen in my life.
Hey, the bank is open sometimes.
With like
night.
18 seconds left on the shot clock. Just threw it up. I guess he was expecting a foul to be called, and he made it.
And I looked at the refs like, he fouled me, but it's okay. Good no call. Good no call.
Coming up, NBA buy or sell right here on the Sports Machine.
Your Sports Machine news update is being brought to you by the Soul Society Studios. In Miami, the Miami Marlins feud with agent Scott Boras escalated Wednesday, and the team said he'll be left out of any future talks regarding ace Jose Fernandez's workload. FanDuel CEO Nigel Eckler said Wednesday that he believes his business is legal and plans to fight to be able to offer his daily fantasy product in New York. A day after the state's attorney general sent a letter to the company and its competitor asking them to stop accepting business from customers within the state. In Atlanta, an overdose is possible in the death of former Atlanta Braves and Los Angeles Angels pitcher Tommy Hanson, but the cause of death has yet to be determined. Sheriff's officials said in a statement Wednesday, Hanson wasn't breathing when emergency crews tried to help him, but it does not indicate what Hanson might have overdosed on. Hanson was only 29. This has been your Sports Machine news update. Stay tuned where we have NBA buy or sell next on the Sports Machine.
Sports Machine with Brian and Dean went over the Thursday night preview. Bills at the Jets. He's got the Bills. I got the Jets.
Yep.
NFL buy or sell. And we went over some games that happened last night. DeAndre Jordan going back to Dallas. Not getting the best audience.
Mm-hmm. Surprised they ain't go full-blown Toronto throwing beer.
We can't even talk about that because they won.
I know, man.
They beat the Rangers. It's okay. NBA buy or sell. Start with Cleveland Cavaliers, 7-1.
Mm-hmm.
You have to buy, right? There's
Right.
nobody out there that's that much of a.
As we go into the world of the haters.
No, I'm not a hater. I'm a buyer.
That's what I'm saying. All right.
I'm just more curious to see what happens when Kyrie comes back. How do they handle this situation now?
The Atlanta Hawks. In the Eastern Conference, I'd buy them.
Yeah, right. I'll buy them, but right behind the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, I'll sell. I like DeMar DeRozan, but once again, what else can this team offer besides DeMar DeRozan and some offense? I even like Dwayne Casey. Good coach, but they're not solid enough defensively. I don't see them getting past the first round.
It depends who they play. They would need the right matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sell on the Raptors too. I kind of agree. I don't think they're going to stay as a top 4 seed in
Right.
Eastern Conference all season. It's a little early to tell. Next up, Detroit Pistons.
I'll buy him because one man is doing something that no one else has done since Bill Russell. And last time I checked, what did we say yesterday, B? Bill Russell has how many rings? 11. I mean, so it means all 10 fingers and one big toe has a ring on it. Think about it.
I'm not buying the Pistons. thought I might because of the matchups they could present. But I do think they put a little bit too much on Drummond's back at some point.
And you were such a big supporter too. Now you selling on him. Good job, B.
It's a quick market. It's a quick market. It's a quick market out there.
Good job, B.
Gotta sell him.
Good job. He sold me into buying the lemon. Shyster.
Chicago Bulls.
I'll sell on the Bulls because once again, we don't know if Derrick Rose can make it through a full season. Or even make it through the playoffs.
I'll sell on the Bulls, but not because of Derrick Rose. In fact, they
The
don't have
defense.
Thibodeau anymore.
Exactly.
Is why I'm selling on the Bulls. Miami Heat.
Sell on the Heat. You know what? I'll take that back. I actually buy the Heat. The young center down there, Whiteside, is actually playing pretty good. From what I've seen, like I'll buy them only because of him and Chris Bosh. They got rid of Mario Chalmers.
I agree. I'll buy him because of Chris Bosh.
Did you see the crossover that Dragic did a couple of nights ago? I mean, good God. Left him standing still. Should be against the law, sir.
Next, Indiana Pacers. Paul George is starting to come into his own, it appears. I'm buying the Indiana Pacers.
I'm going to sell on the Indiana Pacers.
I think when Paul George comes back full healthy, they might work their way up to about the 4 or 3 seed and make some noise. I think I believe too much in Paul George, maybe. Oh, well. I like Paul George.
It's like you said, they're putting too much. If the Pistons is putting too much on Drummond, then the Pacers is putting too much on your boy. PG-13. Paul George.
One thing to Paul George, I don't think that's a good nickname. I understand you've been sticking with it, but
Right. Because that's the whole reason why he changed his name. Like, changed his number over. From what I heard in the offseason, he was changing his number over so he can go by PG-13. Okay.
Charlotte Hornets.
No, thank you. Sell.
I like Kemba Walker so much. But as long as Kemba Walker is in Charlotte, it does not appear like he's going to be on just this exceptional team.
Or are they even going to get any TV time this year? Or are they going to get blacked out?
They play Cleveland or something, they will get some TV time.
Yeah, that's how it started.
Milwaukee Bucks.
I like the Greek Freak, but at the same time, I'm going to sell on that team. Just too inconsistent for me.
I also sell on the Bucks. New York Knicks.
You know what?
That boy Porzingis has actually came and played.
Thank you. And like they started cheering. It's like, yo, where was his cheer? Like y'all was just so down on the fact that y'all couldn't get the people that y'all felt like y'all wanted or that they should have got, to the fact y'all ignored the fact that this guy, he's long, he has range, he can play on the inside, he can rebound. They already got some of his. I'm selling on him, and it ain't because of him. Just get to the point. I'm selling on him, and it ain't because of him.
I'm selling on him too. I feel like Porzingis and Carmelo Anthony actually could make a really good team.
Right.
But the pieces around them are not very good.
Not at all. And let's be for real. He's coming from overseas, so he has to get used to the long season. So durability begins to come into play after Christmas.
The rest of the Eastern Conference is Orlando Magic. Sell?
Sell, yeah, most definitely.
All right. Boston Celtics.
I'll buy.
The Boston Celtics.
Yes.
All right.
Like, I don't know what it is about that young team. Like, after the noise that they made last year, they granted, now they went through a little bit of something off in Cleveland, but they proved that they could take you to a 7-game series and at least keep it make it entertaining.
I like the Celtics as well. I think the reason they're 3-4 is because Marcus Smart's dealing with the injury.
Right.
And has been out.
Right.
They're one of the best defenses when he's on the court.
Exactly.
Washington Wizards. Obviously, I'm a buy. I've been buying the Wizards for years now.
Rightfully so.
Can't sell them now.
Right. Rightfully so. I'll buy them right now. Right now, I'm buying.
Their defense has been terrible this season. And
when at first, like, they was actually a pretty good defense last year, but once again, last year ain't this year. So
I'm just going to ignore the Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia Tanks.
Kyle Adams.
Just gonna ignore him. Going to the Western Conference, the Warriors.
Did you really need to ask me?
Yeah, I went through every single team in the East, so I figured I gotta go through every single
Hey,
team
you're
in the
right.
West.
You're right. You're right. I'm just saying, like, I think you already do. Like, I mean, what is there to sell on? It ain't nothing to sell on.
San Antonio Spurs,
I'll buy the Spurs.
the Thunder,
Buy them.
and this is probably where it starts getting a little questionable. The Clippers,
I'll buy the Clippers.
I'm selling the Clippers. Cannot trust the Clippers. Too up and down, really good at home, not that good away.
Yeah. Only reason why I buy this team is only because of the fact that, in my opinion, they have a great coach in Doc Rivers. He's an NBA champion. He's won the NBA championship. Also been to the NBA finals a couple of times as well. So
They're close to me buying them, partly because they have Paul Pierce now.
right,
I feel like he brings something to every team he goes to.
right.
Next up, the Timberwolves.
I'm selling on them, man.
How
And
are they 0-3 on the road before, or 0-3 on home and 4-0 on the road?
something about home that they say home is where the heart is, but not for the Timberwolves. They're the lone
I'm
wolves.
selling on the Timberwolves. Too young, and they're counting on. He's played really good this season. Shouldn't be hard on Ricky Rubio.
Man, but they young fellas playing pretty good though. That they got in a trade. These look like the real deal.
Utah Jazz,
No, thank you.
probably to this point the best defensive team in the league,
No, thank you.
which is why I'm buying them, because that defense is for real.
Yeah, defense is for real, but can't put up no points with it.
The Denver Nuggets,
No, the Denver quits. No, thank you.
I agree.
The Denver quit on you.
Dallas Mavericks,
I'll buy my Dallas Mavericks. Mainly because they have a veteran team. And they could squeak into the playoffs at the number 7 and number 8 spot. What happens after that, I do not know. I have to watch.
we know what happens after that.
I
If
won't
they get
say-
the 8 spot and go against the Warriors, we know what's happening.
Well, let's hope that they don't get the 8 spot. Let's hope we get the 7 spot.
I'm selling the Mavericks.
Good job. You wouldn't be a San Antonio Spurs fan if you didn't.
I like the Mavericks coming into the season. And I still think they'll make the playoffs, but like I said, they're going to lose first round. Houston Rockets, I'm selling the Rockets.
Me too. I'll sell. Mainly because,
Can't trust them.
exactly. Never trust a team from Houston.
I'm not on that bandwagon. But Portland Trailblazers,
No, thank you. I like Lillard, but like you said before, I think they're missing a lot.
they're missing a lot down low, but I'll still take the Trailblazers.
Asking too much of their backcourt.
Damian Lillard,
Asking too much of their backcourt.
they are. I feel like Damian Lillard can meet those expectations.
Good luck.
Phoenix
And
Suns,
Sell. And it's funny because everybody was hyped on this team coming in. Like, everybody's, yo, Phoenix. A lot like how they were with the Pelicans.
I haven't got to them yet. They're too low on the list.
Jeez.
They're coming. Next up, Memphis Grizzlies, another shocker, 3-6.
I'm selling on them once again because we starting to see what this team should have. If they had Lionel Hollins still there, I would buy this team because Lionel Hollins knew how to work with this team. But
I agree.
they still used Lionel Hollins' system last year, but now I think they're incorporating new head coaches' position, and it's not working out well.
They're averaging 90.2 points per game. So
No, thank you. And they don't look like they're the same defensively.
the Sacramento Kings, 2-7.
No, thank you.
George Karl and DeMarcus Cousins do not get along.
And it just sucks too, because DeMarcus Cousins has the right moves.
He's a beast.
Right.
He's one of the best centers in the league. I was going to give him the best center, but the way Andre Drummond is dominating,
You're right.
It's
It's
hard to
kind
give
of
it to
1A,
him.
1B.
DeMarcus Cousins actually came out on top tonight,
Mm-hmm.
or last night, against Andre Drummond. The Pelicans,
Sell them.
gotta sell them.
They will go only as far as Anthony Davis takes them. They got to win, but they got to win yesterday without him. But how many wins can they get if he continues to miss time? Only time will tell.
Last, Los Angeles Lakers.
No, thank you. Like you said before, hopefully we can get, when the Mavs and the Lakers play a couple of times this year, we get a game to see Kobe in his final season. That's if he play. That's if he play.
I just want him to show up to the court at this point. Just show up so I can see you at the court,
Right.
please.
Right.
It's time to switch it up. Now we gotta get serious. Right here on the Sports Machine. Sports Machine, we went over the Bills and the Jets coming up tonight. NFL buy or sell, NBA. DeAndre Jordan going to Dallas. LaMarcus Aldridge going back to Portland. NBA buy or sell. And now we have to get serious for a second. Greg Hardy back in the news, as he always seems to be. Had a Twitter, and he posted or put in his bio, innocent until proven guilty. You know, he proclaims his innocence in his Twitter profile, basically.
Right.
Jason Garrett has a conversation with him, and then it's not on anymore.
Right.
So it's safe to assume that the talk led to him taking it down. Do you have a problem with Greg Hardy pleading his innocence on Twitter?
My problem with him pleading his innocence is for the fact that, you know, if you were innocent, there wouldn't be anything to apologize about. Earlier, remember, like, last Saturday, you know,
I don't know, if you looked at his apology, though, you could kind of see the gaps in it.
right.
Kind of started like, I apologize for the things that occurred, but he never actually owned up to the fact that he did anything. Which
When
is
you
why
look
I
at it
think,
that way, right.
which is why people were so mad at the apology. It's like, oh, that's not an apology. He's not even sorry for what he did.
Right.
It's
He's
like,
just happy to be back in the league, but still,
Yeah.
though, it's like, for me, like I said before, he could have just left that out then and just, hey, I'm happy to be back in the league and having a second chance given to me by Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, and just left it like that. But, you know, I know this is off topic, and I'm going to be quick about it, but you remember when we talked about this the other day during the Hall of Fame inductees, and we got to Roger Clemens, and we said with Roger Clemens, they was trying to, you know, him and his ex-homeboy, friend of the family, I guess, was supposed to have been injecting him with steroids, kept like the little bloody gauze pads and all that stuff there. Long story short, he yelled from the top of Mount Everest that he was innocent, hadn't been taking any illegal performance-enhancing drugs and all that stuff there, and eventually went into court and was found not guilty in the court. Once again, I know this is different. I know this is totally different. But if in his eyes he feel like he done nothing wrong, I have no problem with him shouting at the top of Mount Everest that, hey, I'm innocent until proven guilty. If he knows he didn't do anything wrong. Because who am I to tell somebody that, yo, in a court of public opinion, no, you're wrong. Like, no. Like, if you know you've done nothing wrong, then you stick to that. You stick to your guns and you go, as he said, guns are blazing.
you probably put that better than I was going to, because I was actually going to bring up a similar point. I wasn't going to make the Hall of Fame reference. That was a good reference. I was just going to say, let's just say this happened to one of us.
Right.
And we read earlier about Greg Hardy's attorney's point, Greg Hardy's point of view of the situation.
Right, because we never heard it. We never heard it.
After reading that point of view, I was like, if that's the way it happened, I know if that happened to me, I'm going to be pleading my innocence.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to sit here and just apologize for something I did not do.
Right. And let's be for real. I'm going to say this, and we both read, like, the, I guess, like, the little affidavit that came out where Greg Hardy and his attorney went to go plead their case why he should be allowed back into the league. And they have the full report up on CBSSports.com if you want to check that out. we're not going to get into too much of the details. Once again, we're a family show. But it got a bit gritty. You know what I'm saying? And I say this to say that we've all seen a few movies out there. And I know people are going to say you can't compare movies to real life, but in this situation where if you've seen the movie A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, and most recently Gone Girl, when you read some of the things that the attorney said, now granted, I know attorney's job is to prove their client innocent regardless of what the facts are. But when you begin to read some of this stuff, like, it kind of changed my mind. It kind of changed my opinion from the standpoint of, because we haven't heard, this is what his attorney and Greg Hardy said to Roger Goodell when they was pleading their cases. They were giving their side of how it happened and why it happened. Now, once again, we've all heard stories of, I'm not accusing the victim, Nicole Holder, of doing these things, but this is what was said. You know what I'm saying? And this is all we can go by is what she said. This is he say, she say. Right?
Exactly what it is.
And so in this situation, I'm make it quick. I know you're trying to get to a point. Like, if this is what's happening, then like I won't be surprised, because we seen this type of stuff happen in movies. Like, and I say that to say these people are not making these movies up just because they thought this would be just a cool story. Somewhere along the line, one of these producers heard a story about this or based it off of something that was actually true. And I took too much of the floor, and I apologize. Now the floor is all yours.
That's okay. It's all good. I just believe every single person in this nation, if they got the same charges put on them, the same public opinion put upon them that
Right.
Greg Hardy has had,
Right.
and you did nothing wrong, for a while you're going to act the way Greg Hardy did.
Exactly.
Greg Hardy didn't see this as a serious situation because he did not believe he did anything wrong. He believed he was innocent.
Exactly.
Now, whether he really was or not is not up for us to decide, because we do not know. We were not there. All we know is what she said, what his and his lawyer said, and what the police report says.
Right. And this is the first time we've actually gotten his side of the story.
And I hate to say this, but I don't think the public opinion is even going to look at his side of the story. Just look
They're
at the
not.
way things are going down.
And one quick thing, let's not forget that there's two victims in this story, in this case. Yes, there's Nicole Holder, who, once again, I was not a fan of these photos coming out almost a year and a half later, because she's trying to move on. She has loved ones that could be a fan of sports who has to continue to view this and hear about this. But let's not forget about Greg Hardy's family. I think that's the one key thing that's been missed throughout this whole debacle. That Greg Hardy has a mother. He has a family out there, family members that love him, you know what I'm saying, dearly as well. And that to hear that their son, cousin, brother, whoever is close to him was a part of such a heinous act, it has to be hurtful to their family as well, because in a court of public opinion, they're also being shot down too, So let's not forget that there's two families that are both hurting in this situation. And that's something I think everybody's done forgot about when they are talking as bad as they are about this guy without knowing the full side of both stories.
Well, you didn't know Greg Hardy's no longer human.
That's how it started.
That's what it seemed like.
Right.
People just, now they can say whatever they want about Greg Hardy.
Right.
Ruin the rest of his life.
Right. He has a mom out there who loves him too, who no matter how old Greg Hardy gets, and for those of us who have kids, who have children, no matter how old your child get, they will always be viewed in your eyes as your baby, your child, your dumpling, your little angel. So imagine what his mom, his dad, or his family is going through as well through this, to hear what everybody has to say about their loved one.
Last question on this topic. Do you have a problem with the Cowboys telling Greg Hardy to take it down from his Twitter?
Once again, I can understand why I don't have a problem with it, because I understand why they have Cowboys. Jerry Jones has taken enough slack for giving the guy a second chance, which once again, I don't understand why we're getting upset at a billionaire giving another guy a second chance.
The only reason I think I probably have a problem with this because I was just looking at it from a different perspective of, like I said, if this was one of us, and someone's gonna tell me to take down. Like I believe I'm innocent. I'm trying to let everybody know I'm innocent because I took enough slack for this. Like
Right.
you said, they take enough slack. Greg Hardy's taking enough slack for this. If he thinks he's innocent, everyone's over here talking about how he beats women and how he
Right.
doesn't deserve another chance. And every time he does something on the field, they assume it has something to do with that, and they just bring it right back up.
Right.
You want to plead your innocence,
Right.
So I kind of thought it's hard for you to tell me to take it down when I think I'm innocent.
Right. But I commend him for doing it for the team.
It's all good. Staying on the same topic, somehow we're gonna end up in this really though segment.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks to sports, I can say really though, this was probably questionable for some people because I started looking at media and social media. Apparently, Jeff Van Gundy is getting a lot of props for what he said.
For those of you who don't know what he said, once again, it should be all over any sports page you choose to go to, whether it's Yahoo Sports, Fox Sports, especially ESPN. They love to run with this stuff. They love to tug at the heart of their listeners. CBS Sports.
I'm not gonna say exactly what he said, but basically he said, I can't believe people in Dallas are gonna boo DeAndre Jordan for changing his mind when they're gonna root for Greg Hardy.
Which was a shot at everybody in Dallas.
Shut your mouth, bro.
You just can't say everybody in Dallas is even rooting for. Like, everybody has a right to root for who they want to. You just can't make that assumption. Everybody's like, there's a way you can be a fan of the team without being a fan of a certain person on the team. And once again, what we just said. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The reason I think he's on this list isn't just because of what he said. He has the right to have his opinion.
Right.
And, a lot of people have their opinion on Greg Hardy and how he should be out of the league, doesn't deserve a second chance, doesn't deserve to have a job. Just go be homeless and just go live somewhere else where we don't have to hear about you no more.
Exactly.
That's basically what they're doing. They don't
Exactly.
want to fix the problem. They just want to push them in the corner. The reason I have a problem with him, let's look at the NBA. Oh, Jeff Van Gundy. This is where you actually belong to talk. You
Yes.
don't need to talk about the NFL. You need to talk about the NBA. Jared Sullinger plays with the Celtics. Has domestic violence problems in his past. Are you calling out everybody in Boston, Mr. Jeff Van Gundy?
Nope. At least I didn't hear nothing about it.
Is Jeff Taylor allowed to play in the NBA again?
Yep.
Because he has domestic violence problems. Or maybe he should go be homeless as well. Why don't we just take this way back?
Way back.
The coach for the Milwaukee Bucks is who?
Jason Kidd.
For those of you who don't remember, Jason Kidd has domestic violence in his past.
A whole lot of it. Here in Dallas especially.
So it's okay for him. But not Greg Hardy. Now the only difference I can see between those two,
His was most recently at that too.
does Jeff Van Gundy ever call out Milwaukee Bucks fans?
Nope.
Call out the Bucks for even hiring him?
Nope. Right on board at the games. Oh man, he was Hall of Famer career. The whole 9 yards, the whole complete butt kiss. And yes, I said the complete butt kiss.
Really though, Jeff Van Gundy? You gonna get on Dallas Cowboy fans. I'm not even a Dallas Cowboy fan. I do live in Dallas.
Right.
You gonna get on us. But there's multiple players in the NBA with domestic violence issues too, but you're not talking about those because that relates to your job. And now your job would be on the line.
Let's not forget what I want to go back and find his comments on what he thought about the whole Kobe Bryant fiasco. The whole Denver deal. Let's find out what he thought about
That
that.
would be interesting. It would be very interesting. Because I know Jeff Van Gundy is a fan of Kobe Bryant.
A huge fan.
It's okay for some players to come back and have a second chance, but other players, it's not okay.
Really though.
Is it just what's hot in the streets, Jeff Van Gundy? You're just going to say whatever it takes to get viewers and listeners?
That's how it started.
That's what it seems like to me.
Maybe that's how they roll on Disney.
I'm going to let you know, Jeff Van Gundy. Don't you ever mess up. Ever in your life. Because you ever mess up, you don't get a job no more. That's what you believe, right?
Yep.
That's
No
what-
second chances.
That's what I got out of you. Great show today.
Fantastic.
Coming up tomorrow, NFL college.
Yes.
Pick 6.
Can't miss that. In the words of Boy Scott, can't wait.
And I know we didn't talk about the NCAA today, like I said yesterday.
They got they do.
It's coming. Eventually, it's coming.
Right, though.
Right here on the Sports Machine.
Peace out.